Hey everybody, welcome to another episode Chasing Collectibles Catchup. Next couple weeks we're having a bunch of guests on who will be coming to our upcoming show Nerdfest, which on March 21st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Sullivan Middle School. And super excited to have Matthew Atchley with us today. He is a actor and artist who's been on such shows as Ozarks, Righteous Gemstones, Fatal Attraction, and so much more. Matthew, thanks for coming on.
Trust me, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. It's been exciting. And we'll talk about this later, but I know you've been very busy with all of, productions and all that. So I'm glad that you were able to make time to talk to us.
Trust me, I am happy to be here, my friend. I've been very blessed. I've been filming a lot, so thank you.
Nice. Well, I was doing a little back. I try to do my research for these things, and I know that before you got into acting, you were, and you're still an artist, but that's kind of like how you initially got into like the scene. So, what made you first get into drawing?
Uh, I was in TV. I was in news broadcasting, broadcast news for about 10 years, and I worked nights. And I just got so sick of it, I tried to just kind of take my life in a different direction. So I did a piece of art for one of the people from The Walking Dead. It was during the first season. I did it just as a fan, just brought it to them. And everything just kind of spiraled out of control. I've got to work for just about everybody you can think of, from people like Chuck Norris to um, Burt Reynolds and so many others. But I got into doing celebrity work, so I never thought that that's exactly where I would be going with my career. But that's it's weird how life takes you where it wants you to sometimes.
Right, exactly. I've heard the same. Like, it's hard to connect the dots looking forward. You just kind of have to look backward and stuff makes sense. So that's really cool. Um, so you do a lot of. I was kind of looking over your page. You do some like portraits, but also you do like all sorts of like from different like fandoms. Like I've seen you do Star Wars stuff. I saw you did like an Alf portrait as well.
Yeah,
So that's all super cool.
yep. I do a lot of stuff. I try to have a lot of variety, so
Hmm.
a lot of nostalgia in my work. So, and
Right.
plus, I've got to work for some pretty amazing people, so a lot of them's been a lot of fun to do. So.
Hmm. So then, did that kind of help lead you into the acting world as well?
Uh, yeah, it kind of opened the door for me to be able to do stuff like that. That's for sure. Back in 2020, during COVID, when all the productions were shut down across the country, they could only use a small radius of people that they could use during all those regulations and everything. And I just happened to be in that radius, and I got to do just about everything. And I'm up to, I think it's 112 credits now, something like that.
Wow,
So you never know what you can do with yourself until you give yourself a shot to see.
for
So
sure.
I'm definitely living proof of that. I've
Yeah.
definitely had a lot of fun. I've been very blessed.
Well, I know like so that's 112. That's a lot of productions. Do you remember like I guess what it was like doing like your first one? Because that's got to be pretty cool, kind of like stepping on set and being in that environment.
Yeah, my very first one was actually just being an extra on the originals. I got to be a
Okay.
wolf, and I did a big Mardi Gras scene where I was partying on the street, and I had my glass break in front of the actors and everything. It was a big ordeal in front of like
Mhm.
750 people. So it was like it was a huge way to start out my acting career. But
Right.
from there, I got to do principal roles, and thankfully, I didn't have to do much background work. Just
Mhm.
about every bit of mine has been principal type
Nice.
roles.
I think what's super interesting too about film is like just how much goes into it, for like in order to make like either if it's a short film or a series or even like a feature length, it's like every scene is so meticulously planned and like whether it's like the costumes, the lines, the lighting, there's so much that goes into a film, like so many moving pieces. So it must be super cool to like be in set, like be on set, be in the middle of all that.
Yeah, it's kind of like organized chaos.
Right.
There's a lot of jobs being done at the same time. These
Yeah.
production companies, they can do some amazing things.
Hmm. Well, so I was also looking at your reel that you've done. It was cool, like kind of seeing all the different roles. And I've kind of noticed you've gone to wear kind of like different costumes and stuff, whether it's like suits or I know there was one where you were kind of bloodied up and all that. So like, do you feel like sometimes like the costume can kind of help you get in the role?
Absolutely. It's like Halloween. You
Hmm.
just try to play make believe and have some fun and try to make it realistic. So
Right.
whenever I got to be the bloody person, it's always fun because usually I've been blown away in an elevator or poisoned or something else. So it's always fun to either be the bad guy or get killed. So
Right. I was actually thinking about like what is that like that process of getting like all bloodied up and like is that makeup and then how do you also like because I think there was one scene I think it was from special election where
uh-huh.
I think you were getting beat up by I think it was like a police officer that was punching
Yes.
you like you were kind of being a bad guy and he punched you.
Yeah,
How
he
do they
didn't
make
appreciate
sure
me beating up his wife or his little girl in the film, so he was taking it out on me a little bit.
right?
And the cool thing about that actually was filmed entirely backwards. So we did it completely backwards, where his hand was touching my jaw, and we went completely backwards with it, and then flipped it so it looked like
Oh,
or it looked like he was beating the crap out of me. So
that's what I was curious like how do you make sure something like that is safe like do you I didn't know like do you like stop at a certain point or like that's interesting and then I guess movie magic and the blood and all that.
either that or guerrilla filmmaking, where you just hope for the best and just
Right.
hope you don't get hit too much.
Yeah.
Either either way, whatever it takes to get the shot.
Yeah. It looked really good. I thought it was cool.
Thank
Do
you.
you ever feel like, because I know you're from Tennessee, do you ever feel like you're like I can hear some of an accent. Do you ever feel like
No,
your accent can help you?
no. That's my acting skills. I was wanting to see if you'd pick up on that.
Right. Actually, it's actually British, your natural speaking voice.
Right, sir. Right.
Do you ever feel like that kind of help you get some roles too, kind of with that southern voice, or do you ever put that on a little bit more
I don't
to
know if it's ever helped, but it certainly hurt me a couple times. I'll never forget. I guess it was the first couple of years I'd started out, and sometimes when you're on set, you get lucky to just be thrown a line, that you weren't
Mhm.
originally given. And I was given a line right there on set as we were filming, and my line was, "Yes, dear." She was over there, and as soon as I said my line, she goes, "Oh, he's too damn southern. Cut it." So I got the part, and I lost the part within 20 seconds. It's like the
Dang,
fastest thing ever. So
that's
I'm
wild.
sure it can't hurt sometimes, but I guess I give
Yeah,
myself a little bit more character being from the South.
exactly. Um, so you've like this got to require some flexibility too. Like I don't I know we can't go into like exactly what the role was, but we originally I think we were going to do our interview a week or two ago, and then you said, oh, this thing came up. So like with acting, I guess you got to like kind of be on your toes sometimes. It's like you never know when something's gonna come up.
Yeah, I'm really close with my agents, and I'm close to a lot of productions, especially some that are going on in Tennessee, around the Knoxville, Nashville area. So if somebody drops out, they'll throw me a line, say, "Hey, we need somebody. Do you care to fill in?" If I'm able to, then
Mhm.
I'm, able to jump in there. But
This is
I've been really
this
lucky for the ones that they've thrown me.
right. That's awesome. Well, do you ever feel like how long? Because I've never even done a play before. I'd love to, but how after you do a role and you've got like the lines and all that, like do you feel like how long is it after like okay, I gotta like kind of I wipe my mind and now I'm on to the next one where like lines and things like that. Do you feel like they stick with you a bit or
Usually, not so much because I'm just going to the next job.
right?
Sometimes it kind of becomes a blur. So
Yeah, that's understandable. Um,
now
well,
some
I
do
know.
stick out. Like you were talking about doing a play, I did a Neil Simon play where I was an older Jewish man, and I couldn't stop talking Jewish for like 2 weeks after the show.
Right.
So sometimes it
That's
does stick
fun.
with you more than others. I had a lot of fun with that when it was the Sunshine Boys.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I know there was like when the Elvis movie came out, oh my goodness, what's his name? Austin Butler for a long time. People were saying like, oh, he couldn't stop sounding like Elvis because he was in that role for so long. Um,
When you really immerse yourself in a role like that, it's kind of hard to get out sometimes, especially
right.
if it's a more deeper role like that, especially
Yeah.
something as talented as he had to do.
Mhm. Well, so I saw you were among your credits, you were in the you appeared in a Righteous Gemstones episode, which
I
that was
was.
a show my wife and I watched for like as soon as it came, like we watched it loyally for years. I
Oh,
know
it's so
Long
much
Goggins
fun,
is
isn't
in
it?
that. Yeah. How'd you enjoy your time on that? Because that's in Charleston, right? That's where they shoot
It
that.
was. Man, it was awesome. I took the job just to work with Baby Billy. That's all I
Yes.
did. That's the only reason I took the job is so I'd get to work with him. I got to be part of his Bible Bonkers crew. So,
Nice.
yeah,
That show has
he's
so
definitely
many
one of the
like
most talented actors of our time. That is for sure.
oh yeah, I mean he's been in, between everything with the oh my goodness, with the White Lotus and the Fallout, and there's so many Vice Principals.
Oh
So
yeah,
that,
Walton's amazing.
yeah, that's cool. Did you have that stuck in your head for a while, the Bible Bonkers theme?
The high being on the show and being around Danny McBride and all the other stars and everything, that lasted a little bit longer than a lot of them. So,
Right.
yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
really special to do. That was a lot of fun.
Hmm. Well, I know you're a bit of a nerd yourself.
Born and bred, my friend.
Excellent. Do you like if you could, whether like it was yourself appearing in, or if you got to like even make like a fan film in some sort of universe, whether it was like Marvel or Star Wars or DC, is there like a world you'd like, oh, I'd love to play around in this?
Oh man, I'd love to shoot some dark, gritty DC type stuff. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I would take that in a heartbeat,
Well, I
and then
love,
I'd
did
beg them
you,
to let me play Batman.
yes. Did you enjoy the latest Batman movie that came out a couple years ago with Pattinson?
Which I did actually. I thought that was a really neat take.
Hmm.
The noir look and just the whole artsy style
Right.
to it. It was a really nice, different take on the character and everything.
Yeah. No, exactly. I love the because I'm a huge fan of like the kind of like darker stuff that Batman kind of allows you to do, and like the fact that they took the Riddler, who's this guy who typically just wears like a green suit. I mean, I cosplay him sometimes, green
Right.
suit, purple tie, and then made him this like, essentially like a domestic terrorist. You're like, whoa, this is pretty out
Yeah,
there.
it is. It's a whole
Yeah.
different take. It's definitely unique. That's for
Hmm.
sure. And Pattinson, he did a lot better than I thought he was going to do. So,
Right. Well, I think a lot of people with him, like talking about, you mentioned Goggins as another talented actor. I think you see people like, oh, he's in Twilight, Pattinson, but he's been in so much stuff over the
oh
years,
God,
like
yeah,
ever
his
since
credit
Twilight.
list is a mile long. That is for sure, and for good
Right.
reason, man.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw him. I think it was last year, the year before Mickey 17 came out. That was based on a sci-fi novel. That was pretty wild. This concept that he was like basically this like expendable clone that like every time he died, they'd recreate him and all this stuff. It was really good. So
Huh.
he's done
I have to
so
check that
many
one out.
things. Yeah.
I'm always looking for a good one.
Yeah. Um, so you're going to be coming to our upcoming show, Nerdfest. It's going to be
Absolutely,
on,
I am excited.
yeah, March 21st. What do you find appealing just as a guest, like setting up at these shows, being as, talking about your career and also showing off your art? Like what do you enjoy most about coming to cons?
Meeting the people. I have more fun with the fans than I do anything else. I
Hmm.
love seeing them come up to the table and realize that everything's hand drawn and hand painted, nothing AI, nothing digitally
Hmm.
created, nothing like that. It's all hand done by me. And I
Yeah.
love putting smiles on people's faces too. So
Yeah,
I really
for
like to have a
sure.
good time. I like to make sure people have a good experience when you
Hmm.
come to these shows, not just I paid my ticket to get into a show and I saw a bunch of stuff.
Right,
I wanted to
exactly.
walk away with something.
Yeah. That's all. I mean, it seems like it's a lot of fun, and I saw some pictures from a booth you had set up recently about just a lot of people at your table, and I think that's what's fun about cons is like it's always like a joyful environment.
Right.
Um, Most of the
Everybody's a
cons
fan. Everybody's accepted.
exactly.
If you're a fan of something, be it G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, Rainbow Bright,
Hmm.
Thundercats,
Right.
everybody, or, the horror stuff or anime,
Yeah.
everybody's a fan. And, as long as you're a fan of something, come on.
Right. It's really like a no judgment zone. We can kind of put
Exactly.
away, the like stresses of like work and stuff going on and be like, hey, I'm a fan of this, and everybody can kind of connect with. You could ask anybody who's your favorite superhero, what's your favorite show, and you can talk about that and not have to worry about anything else going on.
And to jump off of that, seeing the little kids whenever they get to see Superman or Wonder Woman or Batman, in real life, they just light up like firecrackers. It's some of
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
cutest stuff you've ever seen. So
Well,
I think it's
well,
great.
on occasion I've cosplayed Spider-Man, and like I remember one time I had like just walking around a con, not really thinking too much, and like there was like a little kid who was like pointing at his mom, and I was just like, I don't know, what do I do? And I like you go like this to the kid, and they do it back to you. And you're like, oh my God, like it's like, okay, I'm in this moment, I'm Spider-Man, I gotta do
Yeah.
my part to make this kid's day, and it's such a cool,
And
you
you
know
do. You
yeah.
certainly do.
Mhm. And you've also like been at cons recently, not just as like as a guest setting up. You've also been like just an attendee, walking around and getting comics and
Finally.
meeting
Yeah,
artists.
it's taken a few years to get there, but I finally got to walk around at a few of these and enjoy them from the other side of the table. So I've
Yeah.
had a good time. Just this
Hmm.
past week, I came back from Pensacon. I had to go down there just to meet the Highlander himself. So
Nice.
there was no way I
Yeah.
was going to miss Christopher Lambert.
Do you have any kind of fandoms or superheroes you kind of gravitate to the most that you enjoy?
I think probably Batman and Spider Man is probably my two top comic
Yeah.
favorites, ever since I was little. And
Hmm.
probably third to Superman and from there on. But I've
Right.
definitely got the list would be forever long if I told you all my favorites as far as my characters and stuff.
Right.
I love the
And
universes. I think there's a
yeah,
lot
no,
of imagination in there.
for sure. Like there's so much great stuff going on, so many. I would the only thing I just because I'm a teacher, it's my full-time job. I wish I had more time to sit down and read comics. My
Right.
stack of unread comics is a mile high basically at this point.
Oh, I can
So,
relate. Yeah.
do
That
you
means
get
we have
to
good taste.
right, exactly. I'm sure you could think of, either like people say, oh, you got to watch this or you got to, this movie or TV show. Like my wife and I are finally watching Game of Thrones.
Oh
We've been
yeah.
we've been binging that. Um,
Nice.
so that's
That's
been fun.
one of the best, that's for sure.
Yeah, we just watched a pretty traumatic episode in season three toward the second, I think the later
I think
half of
there's more
season.
traumatic episodes than they are sweet happy ones.
Right,
So they're
exactly.
kind of hard to distinguish on that one.
Yeah. I don't know if there's still other people like me that haven't seen it, so I'm trying not to be spoily, but there was like, it's one of those things like no one is safe. And they
Oh
definitely
no, absolutely not. No, no one is safe. Mm-mm.
yeah. Well, it's like Walking Dead also, one of those things. I remember when that aired that was just another thing like anybody could die. So it was
Oh
just
yeah, trust me, at any time. It
yeah,
kept people on their toes, that's for sure, and that's why it built such a great fan base. That's for sure. I owe a
exactly.
lot to the Walking Dead fans and everything. That's
Hmm.
where I got my start was the Walking Dead crowd. I used to
Yeah.
do Walker Stalker Con and all the other shows and everything, and tour with everybody else. So I
Hmm.
owe a lot to that cast. They have done a lot for my career.
Yeah. Well, I remember when it was kind of in its peak, I used to go, well, I still go to the Charlotte Comic Con when it was located like was still in Charlotte, but it was like in the southern part of Charlotte, I think off Tryon, and they'd have like, walkers come on, people who had been on the show, and it was always real cool. And they'd be like, oh, now do your best, walker walk and see what people would think of it. So
Yeah.
it's a great show.
Oh yeah. And
And of
something
course,
that's
what's
going to be
cool,
sticking around for a while. That's for sure. It seems.
yeah. Have you seen also my goodness, The Last of Us?
No, not yet. But I just bought the game not too long ago that I haven't got to start playing. So
Nice.
I've heard it's good too. So
Mhm.
I'm wanting to watch it. It's on the list. That and
Yeah.
Fallout too, for that matter.
Yes, exactly. And so you said you're still living full time in the Tennessee area?
Uh-huh. I'm right on the outskirts of Gatlinburg. That's where my studio is, and that's where I live. And
Nice.
every weekend, I'm in a different city doing my appearances and stuff. Thankfully, and during the week, I'm usually filming somewhere. So
So
thankfully,
staying busy.
thankfully, hope, yeah.
Now I
I'm
did want
definitely
to
having fun. I'm definitely having as much fun as I possibly can.
yeah. Well, I was looking over again. I like to do my research. Like to be a little nosy. I saw in one interview you said that when you do your art, you try to listen to older music, like 60s to 90s.
I
I'm a
always
big
try to put a name to any of my pieces.
mhm,
I've got a brand new piece that's coming up right now, and the title of it is "Only the Good Die Young." So I try to give it
nice.
that extra layer so it kind of tells some kind of story because I don't usually do just straight on portraits. Usually it's a scene of
Yeah.
something. Usually
Hmm.
when the actors they ask me to do stuff, they have a specific scene or something that they want me to do from the TV show or film that they've been in. So I have to do it straight from what they want me to do.
Right.
So. And then with the name, it just kind of gives it that extra layer. And plus, it
Yeah.
makes it a little bit more fun. Like
Yeah. I
Alf,
think so.
Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Mm.
Or my Harley Quinn, Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah, I like that with all the music vibes. Do you have any favorites of like the artists in general from that era? Because I'm a huge Beatles and Bob Dylan and just pretty much anything from the 60s and 70s I
I'm the
enjoy.
biggest Who fan you'll find. I love the Who. I love Pink Floyd, the
Nice.
Doors. I love all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Anything up until about 2000, I think I'm pretty good with.
Yeah, I gotta get more into I keep on telling friends of mine like recommend me newer artists is like all the concerts I've been to are people that are in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I saw McCartney in November. I'm seeing
Oh, that's
Springsteen in
awesome.
May, and it's
Nice.
like I got to eventually start seeing some younger people because otherwise, you know,
Pretty soon you're just going
unfortunately,
to see them walk out with their walkers, but it's still going to be
exactly.
$350 a ticket.
Oh my gosh, you're not even joking about that.
Oh, it's sad.
Yeah.
Concerts should not be for the elite. The elite. You've heard it here
No,
first.
for sure. Unfortunately, I've had to drop more money than I would have liked to see certain people, but they've got that dynamic
It is.
pricing and
It's
all that.
sad.
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember
I
when
know
we could
like
go watch a good show for $30, man. I was
right.
third row for Pearl Jam in Knoxville, Tennessee years ago, man. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
Same thing for Aerosmith. I was right there, third, second row,
Mm. Right.
$35 ticket.
Well, I think it was in the 90s, Kurt Cobain with Nirvana was kind of raving about how like tickets shouldn't be more than 50 or something
Yeah.
like that. And it's like I would love some $50 tickets right now.
What? Right. Exactly. If you
Um,
find them, you let me know. I want them too.
right. Um, well, just on this because as we're wrapping up here, I know you're from the South. Do you have any particular as a Southern guy? Do you have any particular favorite Southern staples? Any Southern restaurants that like while you're in the area you love? Like I know like
Chick-fil-A.
Bojangles, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No matter when you go, it's always good.
yeah,
Cracker Barrel. That's another one. You can always count on Cracker Barrel to be good too.
yeah.
And Waffle House for that matter. I mean, they're always ready for you 24/7. So
Exactly. It's not a Waffle House; it's a Waffle Home.
that's right, man. You feel right at
But
home.
well, I can tell you that
Covered,
there
covered and
is
chunked.
all of those things. Waffle House, Cracker Barrel, and Chick-fil-A are all within reasonable distance to Nerdfest. So you've
That's the
got
only reason I'm coming. I made sure of that before I ever agreed.
those are the vitals, right?
That's right. Those are the perks.
Yeah. Well, as we're wrapping up here, what's the rest of the year looking like for you? What's 2026 looking like?
My tour is actually kicking off here in about a week and a half, and from there I am booked all the way through January. So it's going to be a
Wow.
fun ride.
Nice.
So hopefully a lot more filming to go to. And
Hmm.
like I said, I've already got filming things coming up for next week, so we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate your energy here. It's been a lot of fun talking, and it's going to be real cool to have you at Nerdfest, and we're looking forward to all the folks, seeing your art and talking about your appearances. It's going to be a great time.
And I sure appreciate you guys inviting me. It's been fun getting to talk to you.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks so much. And again, we'll see you on March 21st
That's
at
right.
Sullivan
Everybody
Middle
be there.
School.
If you're not there, then you're definitely missing out. Come to Nerdfest. I'll
Yeah.
be there. You should too.
We're going to have to clip that. That's perfect. All right, man. Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye.
Bye.